Many people think big changes need lots of effort, strong will, or expensive things. But one small, simple action each morning can boost your mood, energy, and focus for the whole day. Do it every day, and you'll be surprised how quickly your life can change. I have learned that lasting change doesn't begin when the day feels easy, but when one rises with intention, even if the body resists. Choosing to act without excuses, without delay, without waiting for motivation, because real progress isn't built on comfort, it's built on consistent action. 1. Own the first hour. They say mornings are for easing in slowly, taking it easy until the day really begins. That's a myth. The truth is, the very first hour after you wake up shapes your entire day, like the first brushstroke on a canvas. It sets the mood, the pace, and the direction. What does this mean? It means the earliest moments hold more power than you realize. Your mind awakens like a blank slate, unmarked by the day's troubles or yesterday's worries. In this pristine state, you possess something precious, pure potential. The thoughts you choose to think, the actions you decide to take, and the energy you bring forth in this sacred hour will echo through every moment that follows. Why is this first hour so powerful? Because in those first 60 minutes, your mind is fresh, your willpower is strongest, and your focus is unclaimed by the noise of the world. Your spirit hasn't yet been pulled in a dozen directions by demands and duties. You haven't been worn down by decisions or drained by conversations. You stand at the threshold of possibility, holding the keys to your own kingdom. If you claim this hour, you claim your day. How? Begin with intention. The moment your feet touch the floor, make a choice. Choose to be the author of your morning rather than its victim. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that you are in command of this day. Let your first thoughts be of purpose, not problems. Let your first feelings be of gratitude, not grievance. Move your body in a way that wakes every muscle. Stretch toward the ceiling as if reaching for your dreams. Take a walk around your home or step outside to greet the morning air. Feel your blood flowing, your heart beating, your lungs filling. This is not about perfect exercise or following rules. This is about awakening the warrior within you, stirring the life force that will carry you forward. Think of your goals, not as distant dreams, but as seeds you are planting right now. See yourself accomplishing what matters most. Picture the person you are becoming with each choice you make. Let these images fill your mind with purpose and your heart with determination. Spend a few quiet minutes in reflection. It could be prayer, it could be gratitude, it could be visualizing the victories you'll earn today. Some find peace in speaking to their Creator, others in counting their blessings, still others in simply sitting with their thoughts. The form matters less than the practice. In these moments of stillness, you connect with something larger than the rush of daily life. I once met a farmer who began each morning walking his fields before touching a single tool. He studied the land, thought through his work, and set his mind on what he would accomplish before the sun was high. He didn't check the weather twice or worry about what his neighbors were doing. That hour became his daily foundation, his moment of preparation and promise. You don't need a farm to do the same. You need only the wisdom to recognize what you have been given. A fresh start, a new day, a chance to become who you were meant to be. Give your first hour to yourself, not to idle chatter, not to distractions, but to building the strength, focus, and confidence that will carry you into the hours ahead. This is your time to rise. 2. Clarify today's mission. Many believe that success comes from tackling as much as possible in a single day, that if you keep yourself constantly busy, you'll eventually reach your goals. That's a myth. In truth, endless busyness scatters your focus and drains your energy like water poured through a broken bucket. What actually creates progress is knowing, from the very start, exactly what matters most today. Most people wake up and let the day happen to them, responding to whatever demands attention first. They jump from task to task, putting out fires and checking off lists, mistaking motion for progress. By evening, they collapse exhausted, wondering why they feel so busy, yet so far from their dreams. Why does this happen? Because without a clear target, every arrow you shoot flies in a different direction. Clear purpose creates sharp action, and sharp action leads to real results. When you know precisely what you're aiming for, every decision becomes easier. You can quickly tell the difference between what moves you forward and what merely keeps you occupied. Without clarity, you might fill your hours with effort yet end the day no closer to where you want to be. You might answer dozens of questions, but none that truly matter. You might solve many small problems while the big ones grow larger. You might work harder than anyone around you, yet watch others pass you by because they knew where they were going and you were simply going. How do you fix this? Each morning, before the world begins making demands on your time, choose one defining mission, one task or step that, if done well, will move you forward meaningfully. Not 3 things, not 5 things, but one thing that stands above all others in importance. This mission should be something that connects directly to your bigger goals. If you want to build something, your mission might be completing one crucial piece. If you want to learn something, it might be mastering one key concept. If you want to improve a relationship, it might be having one important conversation. The size matters less than the significance. Write it down, say it aloud, and let it be the thread that ties your actions together all day. Make it real by putting it into words. Speak it into existence. Let it become the measuring stick against which you judge every other choice you make. This doesn't mean ignoring smaller duties, but it does mean giving your best energy to what matters most. Handle your mission when your mind is sharpest and your willpower is strongest. Let everything else fill the spaces around this central pillar of your day. I knew a craftsman who, before lifting a single tool, would decide on the single piece of work he wanted to perfect that day, perhaps carving one intricate design or fitting a single joint flawlessly. While his apprentices rushed around trying to complete as many pieces as possible, he moved with deliberate purpose toward his chosen goal. By focusing his best hours on that one mission, he not only completed it with excellence, but also ensured every other task benefited from his sharpened focus. His concentrated attention created a rhythm that carried through his entire workshop. His finished pieces became known for their quality because each one received the full force of his intention. Your mission for today might be small, but its impact will be large if you protect it from distraction and see it through. One clear purpose, pursued with dedication, will take you further than a dozen scattered efforts pursued with divided attention. 3. Strengthen the mind. Some believe that mental toughness is a rare gift, something certain people are simply born with. That's a myth. True mental strength is not inherited, it's built, brick by brick, through daily practice. Look around and you'll notice something interesting. The people who handle pressure with grace, who stay calm when others panic, who find solutions when others see only problems, they weren't born different from you. They simply learned to train their minds the way athletes train their bodies. They understood a secret that many miss. Mental strength is a skill, and like any skill, it grows stronger with use. What does this mean? It means that each morning offers an opportunity to make your mind stronger than it was yesterday. Just as a blacksmith strengthens metal by heating and hammering it repeatedly, you can strengthen your mind by deliberately challenging it each day. The key is consistency, not intensity. Small daily exercises build more lasting strength than occasional heroic efforts. Why is this morning training so important? Because life will test you, challenges will come, often without warning, and the strength you've built beforehand will decide how you respond. You cannot build mental muscle in the moment you need it most. The parent who stays patient with a difficult child, the leader who remains clear-headed in crisis, the worker who pushes through when motivation fails, they all drew from a well of strength they had been filling drop by drop for months or years. How do you build this strength? Begin your day with a challenge for the mind. This isn't about solving complex puzzles or memorizing facts. It's about deliberately exercising the qualities you'll need when life gets hard: patience, focus, courage, and calm determination. Reflect on a meaningful lesson you've learned, turning it over in your mind until you understand it more deeply. Think about a mistake you made and what wisdom it taught you. Consider how you can apply that lesson to the day ahead. This practice builds the habit of learning from difficulty rather than simply enduring it. Confront a small discomfort willingly. Take a cold shower, sit in silence when you'd rather be busy, or tackle a task you've been avoiding. These small acts of self-discipline teach your mind that you can choose your response rather than simply react to circumstances. Think through a solution to a lingering problem. Don't just worry about what's troubling you, actively search for answers. Practice seeing obstacles as puzzles to solve rather than walls that stop you. This builds the mental habit of looking for ways forward instead of reasons to quit. Some people choose to memorize a powerful quote and repeat it until it's etched in memory. Others run through scenarios in their mind, practicing the calm and confidence they'll need when faced with difficulty. These mental drills prepare you for real-life trials the way a soldier prepares for battle or a musician prepares for performance. I once knew a schoolteacher who began each day by reciting an old proverb aloud, "A calm heart tames the storm." She said it before stepping into her classroom, and over the years it became her armor. Even on days when tensions ran high, children misbehaved, or unexpected problems arose, she remained steady. That steadiness wasn't natural born, it was trained, renewed every morning like tending a garden. If you treat your mind like a muscle and give it daily exercise, you'll find yourself unshaken when life's storms arrive. 4. Guard your inner climate. Many think the day's events determine their mood, that happiness, patience, or frustration all depend on what happens to them. That's a myth. The truth is, you decide the weather inside your heart before the world ever touches it. Most people wake up and let their feelings be decided by whatever greets them first. If the morning brings good news, they feel good. If problems appear early, they feel troubled. They hand over the keys to their inner kingdom to whatever circumstances happen to arrive, then wonder why their days feel so unpredictable and beyond their control. But consider this, 2 people can face the exact same difficult situation and respond completely differently. One becomes angry and defeated, while the other stays calm and finds a way forward. The difference isn't in what happened to them, it's in the weather they chose to carry inside themselves. What does this mean? It means your inner climate, your attitude, energy, and outlook is something you control. Just as you can choose what clothes to wear before stepping outside, you can choose what spirit to wear before stepping into your day. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist or forcing false happiness. It's about deciding which version of yourself you want to bring to whatever the day holds. Why is this morning choice so important? Because when you start your day by choosing your inner state, you influence everything that follows. You affect how you handle challenges, how you speak to others, and even how opportunities find you. A person who chooses patience will notice different things and make different decisions than someone who starts the day already irritated. The patient person sees solutions where the irritated person sees only problems. Your chosen inner weather also affects everyone around you. People can sense the climate you carry. They respond differently to someone who brings calm energy than to someone who brings anxious energy. Children behave differently around a parent who has chosen peace. Workers respond better to a leader who has chosen confidence over worry. How do you take control of your inner weather? Each morning, take a few moments to name the qualities you want to carry into the day. Don't just hope you'll feel good. Actively choose the traits that will serve you and others best. Perhaps you choose calm when you know the day will bring stress. Maybe you select determination when facing a difficult task. You might pick kindness when dealing with challenging people, or courage when approaching something that scares you. The specific quality matters less than the act of choosing it deliberately. Picture yourself living those traits in your interactions. See yourself staying calm when others rush around you. Imagine yourself speaking with kindness even when others are harsh. Visualize yourself pushing forward with determination even when progress feels slow. This mental practice prepares your heart the way physical warm-up prepares your body. I once met a merchant who began each morning by quietly saying to himself, "Today I am patient. Today I am fair. Today I am bold." It was like setting the sails before the wind arrived. No matter which way the day's events blew, his course remained steady. Customers could sense his steadiness, and they trusted him more because of it. You can do the same. Instead of waiting for the day to treat you well, decide to treat the day well. Choose your weather before you step outside, and you'll find you can carry sunshine even through the darkest storms. 5. Move with purpose. Some believe that physical energy is something that comes and goes by chance, as if some days you just wake up tired and there's nothing to be done about it. That's a myth. Your body is a well, and you decide whether to let it stagnate or set it flowing. Most people treat their energy like weather, something that happens to them rather than something they create. They wake up feeling heavy and assume that's simply how the day will be. They move slowly because they feel slow, not realizing that moving slowly is what keeps them feeling slow. They wait for energy to find them instead of going out to meet it. But energy isn't a gift that falls from the sky. It's a fire that must be kindled, a stream that must be stirred into motion. The difference between people who bounce through their days and those who drag through them often comes down to this simple truth. Energy creates energy. What does this mean? It means your energy is created through action, not simply received by luck. When you move your body with intention, you don't just burn energy, you make more of it. Blood flows faster, carrying fresh strength to every corner of your being. Your heart beats stronger, your lungs breathe deeper, and your mind awakens from its sleepy fog. This isn't mysterious. Your body was designed for movement. Every muscle, every joint, every breath was meant to work together in harmony. When you let your body sit idle, it begins to shut down like a fire running out of fuel. When you stir it into action, it comes alive like bellows breathing life into glowing coals. Why is morning movement so powerful? Because the body fuels the mind. A sluggish body makes for a sluggish spirit. When your blood moves slowly, your thoughts move slowly. When your breathing is shallow, your thinking becomes shallow. When your muscles are tight and stiff, your whole approach to life becomes tight and stiff. But when you wake up your body, you wake up everything else. Your thoughts become clearer because fresh blood is feeding your brain. Your mood lifts because movement releases the body's natural happiness. Your confidence grows because you feel strong and capable. Your whole day changes because you started it by proving to yourself that you have power over how you feel. How can you change it? Begin each morning with movement that engages your muscles and deepens your breath. It doesn't have to be grand or exhausting. You don't need special clothes or equipment or a perfect plan. Even simple, deliberate activity can awaken strength that will serve you all day long. Walk briskly around your home or neighborhood, letting your arms swing and your stride lengthen. Stretch toward the ceiling, then toward the floor, waking up every joint. Practice standing on one foot, challenging your balance and focus. Lift something that makes your body work, a heavy book, a chair, even your own weight as you push away from the floor. The key isn't in what you do, but in doing it with purpose. Move like you mean it. Breathe like you're filling yourself with life. Feel your muscles working and your heart pumping. I once stayed with a sailor who, at dawn each day, carried buckets of water from the well to the shore before starting his duties. The work was simple, but the act stirred his blood and cleared his thoughts, making him sharper and steadier for the long day ahead. If you want clarity in your mind and drive in your heart, move with purpose before the day fully begins. That first motion will carry you farther than you think. 6. Feed the spirit. Many believe strength comes only from the body and the mind, that if you're physically able and think clearly, you have all you need. That's a myth. The truth is, without feeding the spirit, you risk moving through life without true direction or joy. Watch people closely and you'll notice something remarkable. Some seem to glide through difficulties with an inner peace that physical strength alone cannot explain. Others, despite being capable and intelligent, struggle with emptiness or restlessness that no amount of achievement can fill. The difference lies in understanding that humans are more than muscle and brain. We are beings with souls that hunger for something deeper than success or comfort. What does this mean? It means nurturing the deeper part of yourself that longs for meaning, connection, and peace. This inner self is like a garden that needs tending. When neglected, it becomes overgrown with worry, doubt, and discontent. When cared for, it blooms with wisdom, compassion, and quiet strength that no external force can shake. Many people spend their entire lives building impressive careers, accumulating possessions, and developing their talents, yet feel hollow inside. They mistake the container for the contents, polishing the outside while the inside withers. They feed their minds with information and their bodies with exercise, but forget to feed the part of themselves that makes life worth living. Why is spiritual nourishment so vital? Because when your spirit is strong, everything else in your life finds its proper place. You weather trials with grace because you're rooted in something unchanging. You make decisions with integrity because you're guided by principles deeper than convenience. You find fulfillment beyond mere achievement because you understand that true satisfaction comes not from getting what you want, but from becoming who you're meant to be. A nourished spirit also brings clarity to life's confusion. When you're connected to your deeper self, you can distinguish between what matters and what merely makes noise. You develop an inner compass that points toward truth, even when the world around you spins with competing voices and false promises. How do you feed this essential part of yourself? Begin each morning with a practice that lifts your inner self. This might be quiet prayer, speaking with the Creator of all things, and listening for wisdom beyond your own understanding. It could be reflection on a guiding principle that shapes your character, perhaps honesty, courage, or love. It might be taking time for gratitude, counting the blessings you already hold, instead of focusing on what you lack. This isn't about ritual for ritual's sake, it's about realignment. Just as a musician tunes their instrument before playing, you can tune your spirit before facing the day's challenges. This practice helps you remember who you are beneath all your roles and responsibilities. It connects you to the source of your deepest values and strongest convictions. I knew an old fisherman who, before setting sail, would stand at the shore and whisper thanks for the sea, the day, and the chance to work. He wasn't performing for others or following someone else's rules. He was feeding his spirit, acknowledging the gifts that surrounded him, and preparing his heart for whatever lay ahead. No matter what the waters brought, calm seas or fierce storms, his heart stayed steady because he had anchored it in something beyond the changing weather. When you start your day by feeding your spirit, you anchor yourself against life's shifting tides. You become more than just someone who gets things done. You become someone who carries light into dark places. 7. Rekindle self-belief. Some think confidence is something you either have or you don't, that it's a permanent trait set in childhood. That's a myth. Confidence, like a fire, must be stoked daily, or it will fade. Look around, and you'll notice something curious. The people you admire for their steady confidence weren't born with unshakable belief in themselves. If you could peek behind their composed faces, you'd discover they face the same doubts and fears that visit everyone. The difference is that they've learned to tend the flame of self-belief like gardeners tend their plants with daily attention and care. Confidence isn't a trophy you win once and keep forever on your shelf. It's more like bread that must be baked fresh each day. Yesterday's confidence, no matter how strong, can't carry you through today's challenges if you don't renew it. This is why some people seem to rise and fall in waves, sometimes bold and decisive, other times hesitant and uncertain. They haven't learned that confidence requires daily maintenance. What does this mean? It means you can choose each morning to remind yourself of your own worth and capability. You don't have to wait for others to believe in you before you believe in yourself. You don't have to achieve something great before you decide you're capable of greatness. You can fan the flames of self-belief simply by choosing to remember who you are and what you've already accomplished. This isn't about fooling yourself with false praise or pretending you're perfect. True confidence comes from honest recognition of your strengths, your growth, and your potential. It means acknowledging that you've faced difficulties before and found ways through them. It means accepting that you have unique gifts and the power to develop them further. Why is this morning practice so crucial? Because when you truly believe in yourself, everything changes. You approach challenges with courage instead of hesitation. You speak up when your voice matters instead of staying silent. You take chances on opportunities instead of letting fear decide for you. You recover from setbacks more quickly because you know they don't define your worth or limit your future. Self-belief also affects how others see you. People sense confidence like animals sense weather. When you carry yourself as someone who believes in their own value, others naturally begin to see that value too. When you speak as someone who expects to be heard, people listen. When you act as someone who belongs in the room, others make space for you. How do you build this daily practice of self-belief? Start each morning by recalling past victories, however small, and let them remind you of your strength. Think of problems you've solved, fears you've faced, and goals you've reached. Remember times when you surprised yourself with your own capability. These memories aren't just pleasant thoughts, they're evidence of your power to handle whatever comes next. Don't limit yourself to grand achievements. Remember the day you kept going when you wanted to quit. Recall the time you helped someone in need. Think of moments when you chose honesty over convenience, or kindness over selfishness. These victories of character matter as much as any external success because they prove you can count on yourself to do what's right. Speak words to yourself that affirm your ability to grow, adapt, and overcome. Tell yourself truths like, I can learn what I need to learn, or I have faced hard things before and found my way through. These aren't empty affirmations, they're statements of fact about your human capacity for growth and resilience. I once met a young mason who, before lifting a single stone, would think of the walls he had built in the past, each one a silent promise that he could build the next. He would run his hands along the rough surface and remember the satisfaction of placing each stone perfectly. That morning ritual didn't just lift stones, it lifted him. Every day he began with proof of his ability to create something lasting and strong. Self-belief is not vanity, it's the fuel for persistence. Without it, your tools grow heavy before the work even begins. 8. Set your compass. Many believe you can drift into the day and still arrive where you want to go. That's a myth. Without direction, you can work hard and still end up far from your true destination. Picture a ship that leaves port without a captain checking the compass. The crew might work tirelessly, adjusting sails and manning their posts with great effort. They might cover many miles and feel proud of their busy activity. But when evening comes, they could find themselves farther from their destination than when they started, carried by currents they never noticed and winds they never considered. This is how most people live their days. They wake up and immediately begin moving, checking off tasks and staying busy, assuming that motion equals progress. They mistake activity for achievement, effort for effectiveness. They spend their energy without spending their attention on whether that energy is taking them where they actually want to go. What does this mean? It means that every morning you must set your compass, align your day with the values and long-term vision you hold dear. Just as a navigator uses the North Star to find true direction, you need to use your deeper purposes to guide your daily choices. Without this alignment, you become like a person walking very fast in the wrong direction, getting farther from their goal with every step. Your compass isn't just about career goals or material achievements. It includes the kind of person you want to become, the relationships you want to build, the legacy you want to leave, and the principles you want to live by. It encompasses your dreams for your family, your community, and your own character. When you set your compass each morning, you're not just planning tasks, you're choosing which version of yourself to become that day. Why is this morning alignment so crucial? Because a day spent wandering aimlessly becomes a week, a month, a year lost to chance. Days add up to create lives, and lives lived without direction often end in regret. The person who never checks their compass might work harder than everyone around them, yet arrive at 60 wondering where their time went and why they feel so far from what they truly wanted. Direction also brings power to your efforts. When you know where you're going, you can say no to distractions that pull you off course. You can choose between good opportunities and great ones. You can invest your limited time and energy in things that compound toward your true goals, rather than scattering them across random activities that lead nowhere meaningful. How do you practice this daily alignment? Begin each morning by reflecting for a moment on where you're heading and why. Don't just think about what you need to do today. Think about who you want to be and what kind of life you want to create. Remind yourself of the bigger picture that gives meaning to your daily efforts. Ask yourself if the tasks you've planned serve that greater journey. Look at your day ahead and honestly evaluate whether your planned activities will move you closer to your true destinations. Are you spending time on things that matter, or just on things that demand attention? Are you building what you want to build, or just responding to whatever seems urgent? Adjust if they don't align. Have the courage to change course when you realize you're heading in the wrong direction. This might mean saying no to requests that don't serve your purpose, rearranging your priorities to focus on what truly matters, or simply choosing to approach familiar tasks with a different spirit and intention. I once traveled with a caravan leader who began each day checking the stars, then plotting the course before anyone moved. He would study the horizon, consider the weather, and think about the day's journey in relation to the final destination. Even when storms forced detours or obstacles required different routes, the caravan always reached its destination because the compass was set with wisdom and checked with consistency. Do the same with your life. Set your bearings before you take your first step. 9. Embrace the small victory. Some believe only grand achievements count, that unless you accomplish something extraordinary, you've made no real progress. That's a myth. Life's great triumphs are built on the quiet victories no one else sees. We live in a world that celebrates only the final moments of success, the moment the building is complete, the business opens, the goal is reached. We see the finished masterpiece, but miss the 1,000 careful brushstrokes that created it. We admire the harvest, but forget the daily watering that made it possible. This focus on dramatic endings makes us overlook the small victories that are the true foundation of all meaningful achievement. Most people wait for permission to feel proud of their progress. They think their efforts don't matter unless they produce something worthy of applause or recognition. They dismiss their daily improvements as insignificant, always looking ahead to some distant moment when they'll finally have something real to show for their work. This thinking keeps them discouraged and robs them of the satisfaction that could fuel their continued efforts. What does this mean? It means celebrating each step forward, no matter how small. Every positive action you take is a victory worth acknowledging. The day you choose healthy food over junk, organize one drawer instead of leaving it messy, speak kindly when you could be harsh, or push forward when you feel like quitting, these are victories that matter deeply, even if no one else notices them. These small victories are like seeds planted in fertile ground. They may look insignificant when you plant them, but each one carries the potential for something greater. The person who exercises for 10 minutes today is more likely to exercise for 20 minutes tomorrow. The one who reads 5 pages builds the habit that eventually finishes books. The one who saves a single coin develops the discipline that eventually builds wealth. Why are these quiet triumphs so powerful? Because small victories build momentum, strengthen confidence, and make daunting goals feel within reach. Success breeds success, but it starts with recognizing success wherever it appears, no matter how humble its form. When you acknowledge a small victory, you teach your mind to associate effort with reward. This creates a positive cycle that makes you want to keep trying. Your brain begins to expect good feelings from good choices, making those choices easier to repeat. Over time, what once required willpower becomes natural habit. Small victories also strengthen your confidence in ways that distant goals cannot. A big dream can feel overwhelming and impossible when you're far from achieving it. But when you complete a small, meaningful task, you prove to yourself that you can finish what you start. You demonstrate that you have the power to change your circumstances through your actions. This proof builds real confidence because it's based on actual experience, not wishful thinking. Each small victory also makes larger goals feel more achievable. When you break a big challenge into smaller pieces and conquer them one by one, you prove that nothing is too big if you approach it correctly. The mountain that seemed impossible to climb becomes a series of manageable steps. The skill that seemed too complex to learn becomes a collection of simple lessons mastered one at a time. How can you harness this power in your daily life? Each morning, choose one small, meaningful action you can complete before the day's noise swallows your focus. This shouldn't be something so easy it requires no effort, nor so difficult it overwhelms you. It should be something that stretches you slightly while remaining clearly achievable. It might be organizing your workspace so you start each day in order instead of chaos. Perhaps it's fixing something you've been putting off, a loose handle, a burned-out light, a torn piece of clothing. Maybe it's completing one piece of a larger task, like writing a single page, learning 10 new words, or practicing a skill for 15 minutes. The key is choosing something that connects to your larger goals and values. Random busy work won't have the same effect as purposeful action that moves you forward in some way. Your small victory should feel like genuine progress, even if the progress is modest. I knew a gardener who began every day by tending a single plant before moving on to the rest of his garden. He would water it carefully, check for signs of growth, remove any weeds, and adjust its position for the best light. That one plant, cared for with such consistency and attention, became the most beautiful in his entire garden. It also became a living reminder that great beauty grows from steady effort applied with love and patience. Value your small victories, and they will lead you to the larger ones. Each quiet triumph is a stepping stone across the river between where you are and where you want to be. 10. Welcome the new day. Many believe that each day is simply a continuation of the last, that life is one long, unbroken stretch. That's a myth. Every sunrise is a new beginning, a chance to start fresh regardless of yesterday's troubles. Most people wake up carrying yesterday like a heavy pack on their shoulders. They replay old conversations, rehash past mistakes, and drag forward every disappointment as if it were required baggage for the journey ahead. They let yesterday's failures convince them that today will bring more of the same. They allow past hurts to color their view of present possibilities. Without realizing it, they trap themselves in a prison built from memories that no longer exist anywhere but in their own minds. This way of living turns each day into nothing more than another chapter in the same sad story. It makes people feel like prisoners of their own history, condemned to repeat patterns they wish they could escape. They forget one of life's most beautiful truths. Every morning offers a clean slate, a fresh start, a new chance to become who they want to be. What does this mean? It means you can choose to let go of past mistakes, regrets, and disappointments the moment the day begins. Yesterday's failures don't have to predict today's outcomes. Last week's harsh words don't have to echo in this week's conversations. Old wounds don't have to keep bleeding into new experiences. The past has lessons to teach, but it doesn't have the right to rule your present moment. This isn't about pretending bad things never happened or ignoring important lessons. It's about refusing to let what's already finished steal the power from what's just beginning. You can learn from yesterday without being chained to it. You can remember past mistakes without letting them convince you that you're destined to repeat them. Think of each morning like the first page of a blank book. Yes, you've written other books before, some good, some not so good, but this is a new book with fresh paper and unlimited possibilities. What you wrote yesterday doesn't determine what you must write today. You hold the pen and you get to choose what story unfolds. Why is this fresh start thinking so important? Because carrying the weight of yesterday robs today of its strength. When you begin each day already burdened by old guilt, resentment, or disappointment, you have less energy available for new opportunities. Your mind is occupied with what was instead of focused on what could be. Your heart is heavy with past pain instead of light enough to notice present joys. People who master the art of fresh start seem to have an unfair advantage in life. They bounce back faster from setbacks because they don't carry those setbacks forward longer than necessary. They take bigger risks because they're not paralyzed by memories of past failures. They build better relationships because they don't hold every person accountable for what someone else did to them years ago. How can you practice this life-changing habit? Each morning, consciously release what no longer serves you. This isn't complicated, but it does require intention. Stand up, take a deep breath, and make a deliberate choice to leave yesterday where it belongs in the past. Take a breath, acknowledge that yesterday is over, and step into today with a clear mind. You might say something simple like, "Yesterday is finished, and today is new," or "I release what I cannot change and embrace what I can create." The exact words matter less than the sincere intention behind them. Some people find it helpful to imagine themselves setting down heavy bags at the threshold of their day. Others picture washing away yesterday's dust before putting on fresh clothes. The image you use doesn't matter as much as the genuine act of choosing to begin again. This doesn't mean you ignore important responsibilities or pretend problems don't exist. If you need to apologize for something you did wrong, do it today. If you need to solve a problem you created, solve it today. But don't let the weight of what you need to fix prevent you from living fully in the meantime. I once knew a blacksmith who at dawn would sweep away the ashes from his forge before lighting a new fire. He said it reminded him that no matter what happened the day before, whether he'd created beautiful work or ruined expensive metal, today's work began with a clean hearth. Each morning was a chance to create something new and wonderful, unburdened by yesterday's successes or failures. Approach your life the same way. Greet each morning as a gift, and you'll find it easier to shape the day into something worth remembering.